Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 222 of the J Situation Podcast. I'm recording this on July 30th, 2024. Hope you're all doing well on this fine summer day. Thank you for being here. I'm glad you could join me today to speak about silencers. I think it'll be a good time. It's going to be a short episode today, but short and sweet. I think we have a couple of good topics lined up. First, some brand new data and analysis for you. That's right. We're circling back to a silencer that some folks forget about and exploring its performance on a different system. That's right. Today we are publishing performance analysis for the Surefire SOCOM762-MINI2 on 5.56. Yeah, the 762-MINI2, it's exactly the same size as a 5.56 RC2, but it's a 30 caliber unit. Yeah, so how does it do? Yeah, does it perform the same as an RC2? Can you just put a 30 caliber silencer on your 5.56 AR and hope to have good performance? About 5 years ago, if you asked that question, a lot of people would say yes. But as those of you who follow the effort have seen and learned, there are a lot of knobs to turn when it comes to silencer design. Yeah. A lot of knobs to turn when it comes to silencer design features that influence performance. Okay, so this article might be good for those new to silencers, and it might be a great refresher for some of you old experts out there, some of you old heads. So there's never too much positive reinforcement with technical knowledge, I think. So we're happy to round out the characterization of the Surefire systems and the Surefire technology this week. So this will be a good introductory discussion. I also have a short topic for you on adjustable gas blocks. And believe me, it's going to be really short. It's basically me asking for your help. Okay, so sometimes I do that. So this is not going to be a highly technical episode. We try to do those every other week. And so this one may help your brain relax a little bit, I think, or maybe just a little bit. Now, I do want to say, as always, if you're listening on YouTube, please remember, we have timestamps for all the topics, same as on all the podcast providers. And I'm going to tell you that I will, in fact, be speaking about some sponsors. But hold on, really quick, before you use those timestamps to skip all the ads, which is totally fine if you do, but I just want to say, before you skip those ads to get to the silencer talk, I want to announce the addition of a new podcast sponsor. And this is a new addition to the PEW Science family, and it's a really big deal. We are honored to let you know that this episode of the podcast is brought to you by Capital Armory. That's right. No secret that silencers are in high demand right now. At least at the current time, approval times are pretty quick. So those two things combined mean that you need options as a consumer. Yeah, so Capital Armory is here to help you with that. They have a pretty unique twist on it, though. So not only do they have a large selection of silencers and help you with the painful paperwork that no one likes to do, they can actually ship your silencer directly to your door. Yeah, that's right. So if you live in one of the 42 states where silencers are legal, you can order a silencer in your living room and have it shipped directly to that same living room. Yeah, it's pretty wild. It really is that easy. I'm going to be trying out the methodology myself just so I can speak to the specifics firsthand and give you my own feedback on it. So I'll let you guys know. So welcome to the PEW Science family. The more the merrier. Capital Armory. Silencers you actually want shipped directly to your door. And as always, this episode is proudly sponsored by Legion Athletics. Nothing you do, exercise, sports, shooting, anything's worth doing without consistency. Yeah, you got to do things all the time if you really want to be good at them. Legion Athletics can help you with that. Whey protein, pre-workout, post-workout, vitamins, minerals, creatine. There's so much. They have a lot of what you need to stay swole. Visit legionathletics.com. There's a link in the show notes. Use code word PEWScience to save 20% off your first order. And if you keep using that code for all your supplement orders going forward, you'll save a net 10% off using points forever, which is a pretty good deal. Helps the podcast, helps you get healthy, helps keep you motivated. It's awesome. Get strong. It's important. This episode is also brought to you by Top Gun Range Houston. That's right, man. If you're in the Houston area, even if you're just passing through, they're worth checking out. They have the largest firearm rental fleet in the entire state of Texas. They have a 15-lane indoor shooting range. You can actually try out your pistols and rifles and shotguns and machine guns and silencers on the weapons we test with here at PEW Science. It's amazing. You can check out their firearm rental inventory fleet at their website at topgunrange.com. You can find them on Instagram at Top Gun Range. Kyle and his guys they're great. Okay, tell them Jay sent you there. This episode is also brought to you by Silencer Shop. That's right, they've done a lot, not only for the industry, but for tons of dealers, large and small, nationwide. If you're a new dealer looking to get started in the space and you can't hold a lot of inventory, or maybe you kind of want to maintain some low overhead, Silencer Shop might be able to help you out with that. And if you're a consumer, you can use their kiosk. Do your fingerprints and photos electronically, and in turn, you do cut down on errors. You simplify your silencer purchasing process. You get a money-back guarantee. It's pretty good. You don't pay any transfer fees. You don't have any paperwork errors. It's you and your silencer with no drama. Truly, is silencer ownership simplified. And finally, as always, the podcast is brought to you by the PEW Science Laboratory. I'm the technical director of the lab. In the interest of public education, we sponsor this podcast and run a public research effort, and we continue to push the silencer industry forward, one test at a time. You can visit pewscience.com for the suppression rating. It's the simplest, most accurate hearing safe rating for your suppressed small arms. It's based on true human inner ear response of the entire gunshot from before combustion takes place all the way until all the combustion is gone, all the mechanical operation of the weapon has ceased, the entire thing. All right. PEW Science is the home of the silencer sound standard. 7 sections, the most in-depth and accurate silencer data and analysis in the world. And it's all available to the public 24/7 at pewscience.com. And you can support this podcast yourself. You can support our laboratory. You can support all the public testing we do, just like the article you saw on Night Stuff, the article you're seeing this week. You yourself listening can support this directly with a membership at pewscience.com. There's even a donate feature on the review page or podcast page if you're not into recurring things. We get it. And you know what? If times are tight, if this economy got you down, if old Jay Powell and the Fed are giving you problems, don't go to Wall Street Bets. Something that's free and doesn't cost you anything. If you rate the podcast with a good 5-star rating, or like and subscribe on YouTube or wherever you get your podcast, iTunes, Spotify, Space Lasers, just let folks know that silencers and guns are awesome. We can help to normalize the use of suppressed small arms for the good of everyone. So we have 2 topics lined up for you today, like I was telling you. Topic 1, Sound Signature Review 6-157, the Surefire SOCOM762-MINI2 on the Mark 18 5.56 short barrel AR, including a comparison case study of Surefire total signature reduction technology. That's for members only. Can you use a 30 caliber silencer on 5.56 and expect good results? I don't know. How well does the Surefire technology scale? We're going to ask a lot of questions about that. This is just the intro discussion to this on this episode, so stay tuned for that. And then topic 2, are adjustable gas blocks bad? I mean, not really. Can they be bad? Sure, they can be. Really, my kingdom for a compact, non-leaky block with fine adjustments. That's what I would like. So this is kind of an appeal to the listeners. Show me what you've got. Okay, let's go into topic 1 at a time of 8 minutes and 43 seconds. Okay, I know that intro was a little bit longer, but hey, we had a lot to talk about, and I had to mention Capital Armory. Isn't that crazy? Capital Armory and Silencer Shop and Top Gun Range all working together to help push the silencer industry forward, one test at a time, being members of the PEW Science family. That's a pretty big deal. That's a pretty big deal. So I just want to make sure if you skip the ads that you still heard me say that, because I do think you should know. So topic 1, the Surefire SOCOM762-MINI2. This is article 6-157. We tested this 30 caliber silencer on the Mark 18. This article also has a comparison case study of the Surefire total signature reduction technology in some different units. That's for members only. The overarching question here that I think this article is going to help a lot of people new to silencers with is, can you use a 30 caliber silencer on 5.56 and expect good results? It's not a cut and dry answer, but there's a lot of questions to ask yourself about, how well does the Surefire technology scale? And what are you and when we talk about scaling, what are you changing? Is it, you're changing the venting, you're changing the volume, you're changing the bore size. There's all kinds of things you're changing with the total signature reduction technology and Surefire rifle silencers across the different models, in different combustion regimes and different cartridges and different hosts. Okay. And I do want to say that the PEW Science research pedigree does have the answers to these questions. And so in this talk today, we're just going to give an intro to the white paper that's published on the website. Okay, the primary deliverable today is the white paper. This podcast accompanies that as an intro, and I want to talk big picture. Okay, so one moment. That's how I want to structure this. So, like I was telling you folks on social media over the weekend, some of you who caught that on Instagram, I think a lot of you already sort of know the performance answer here, but as much as we want to think everyone is as educated as the silencer enthusiasts, all the enthusiasts who come to this technical information regularly, the truth of the matter is most silencer consumers are new, and a ton of firearm users don't even know that you can purchase silencers, okay? So small research studies like this, I think, are still really important. And that is why we put internal funding into getting them completed. That is the reasoning why we think research dollars are well spent on things like this. And if you disagree, that's fine. We welcome your feedback. You can email us at tech@pewscience.com, but I think you'll see that there's a method to the madness. All right. I just wanted to let you know we do accept feedback, but we also are steering the research in ways we think will benefit the public. Another reason this type of study is really fortuitous is because it rounds out the research pedigree in a technology segment. Okay? Remember, what does Surefire call their rifle silencer technology, guys? What do they call their technology characterized by the dished ported baffles with an early proximal vent array and a divergent cone end cap? What do they call that? What does Surefire call that? They call it total signature reduction technology. Those are their words. It's on their website. Okay. So for those of you who've been around a while, there's definitely competition in the industry, and Surefire is certainly no stranger to that. They've been around a long time. They've gone back and forth with Gemtech and AAC and OSS, and through a lot of these battles, both in the government contracting space and the consumer space, something that Surefire became known for was fitting the namesake of the technology branding. Okay, that so-called total signature reduction technology. This was because it wasn't only sound they were trying to suppress. It was flash as well. And this was a really big deal, and a lot of folks really seek that out when they're acquiring a rifle silencer for their systems. I know that a lot of users find that to be important. So for those reasons, and some other reasons as well, like build quality, manufacturing advancements, and high market proliferation, Surefire became known as a performer that wasn't just concerned with sound. Okay, some of their systems actually earned them a reputation as a manufacturer with louder models, actually. But as we know, as we have come to discover through this research effort, a lot of that had to do with war comp mount use. Okay, and that's a topic for another episode. We've certainly covered that in great detail, but I'm just giving you kind of a historical chronology of this market position. So what happens when a silencer manufacturer gets a very long-standing positive industry reputation? Well, they start to get recommended by a lot of folks, right? Okay. Hey, it's not just Surefire, okay? And it's not just the old guard companies either. Okay, it's also newer companies. They start having strong showings out of the gate, whether it be high performance to price ratio or high pure performance or silencers that look really cool. Okay, whatever folks zone in on, different attributes or whenever folks zone in on a brand they really like, they start to recommend it. It's human. It's a pretty common thing in almost all industries. It's almost expected for it to happen. It's actually part of marketing strategy. Excuse me. So now, what happens when the harsh reality sets in, though? The reality is, like we always say on this podcast, physics doesn't care about your brand. Okay? Performance is a function of physical reality. So, what's a common recommendation from internet forum silencer experts and gun counter salesmen? They tell you, hey, get this silencer. You can use it on a lot of your firearms. 46 caliber, use it on your 45 ACP handgun, your 308 deer rifle, your 5.56 AR. Hey, this 30 caliber rifle silencer, use it on your 300 Blackout PDW. Use it on your 243 Coyote gun. Use it on your short barrel 5.56 AR. You use it on your 5.56 AR you're bringing to your carbine classes. No problem. And the consumer takes that advice. They purchase the silencer, and they try to do all those things. Now, is that better than shooting a firearm unsuppressed? Well, in all cases, it's less hazardous when it comes to blast load propagation. Yes, the answer is physically yes. Handling-wise and utility-wise, well, that's a different question. Is the silencer optimized for the use case? In some uncommon cases, it just may be. But most of the time, you'll find that placing something like a 30 caliber rifle silencer on a 5.56 AR, it's not really meeting high performance goals. And there are levels to this. Are you trying to win races in a Formula One car? Are you trying to gap riced out Supras during a street race in Mexico? Like, is that what you're like? Are you here for performance, or are you just taking a Sunday drive through the local drag? Maybe get some Dairy Queen, maybe some tacos. I mean, there are levels to this, right? So you all know this. Use case is important, and form factor efficiency for the platform is important. So why is this relevant to the Surefire SOCOM762-MINI2? Okay. If you didn't know any better, you might think this was an RC2. I mean, really. On the exterior, it's almost identical. In the photo I posted today, you'll be able to tell them apart because they're different colors. But other than that, the exterior is the same, guys. And yes, I'm talking about the 762 Mini2 being identical in appearance to the 5.56 RC2. Okay, remember, 762 Mini2, 5.56 RC2. The 5.56 RC2, that's the same one that many of you adore. You would give up your firstborn for it. Okay, the 5.56 RC2 is one of the most beloved 5.56 silencers in existence. You get to pretend you're G.I. Joe. You actually get to enjoy some pretty decent performance. It's been that way for a very, very long time. That type of product is relatively rare in the space. But friends, even though the 762 Mini2 is the exact same size as the 5.56 RC2, it really couldn't be any more different. Okay, it's a 30 caliber silencer. It's the mini version of the full-size 762 RC2. We have well characterized that system, right? Heck, you saw the 762 Mini2 already as well, didn't you? Yeah, that's right, you did. You saw the 762 Mini2 on 308 bolt action already in Article 6.106. Over 50 articles ago, but you did in fact see it. You did. So there's an opportunity there. This is a really big opportunity, and I'm sure some of you have thought about it. What makes the 5.56 RC2 series so special? Well, it's optimization. You know that, right? Okay. How do we classify the total signature reduction technology in the Surefire rifle silencers in the PEW Science taxonomy? What type of technologies are in these type of silencers? They're hybrids. They're classified as hybrids. Why do we call them hybrids? It's because they're literally a hybrid of conventional silencer technology with higher flow elements intended to increase early time flow rate or gross flow rate for the express purpose of mitigating back pressure concerns. For who? For both the weapon operator and the weapon system itself. Okay. The RC2 series was one of the first major popular design families to do that. The proximal vent array was paramount for this. Okay. You've seen this evolve further into the RC3 series. We'll get into that in a second, but you've seen it evolve. So this opportunity we have is huge. You have tons of Surefire tests, and you've been here before, right? We are now once again in an overbore scenario. You've been here before. But this time, you get to isolate one of the variables. You get to isolate one of the variables, and that variable's length. Yes, you now have an identically sized Surefire unit designed for 30 caliber use. Bigger bore, different baffle spacing, purposely designed, purposely different. And yet, we say all this, you're nodding your head, duh. Okay, keep listening. We say all of this together, and yet, to this day, you have people on the internet and in gun stores telling you that the performance on the Mark 18 between the 5.56 RC2 and the 7.62 MINI2 will be similar. So today, we win one of the small battles in this larger war. We prove that statement to be technically and practically incorrect. Okay, yeah, it's true. Now, like I said, this is something that a lot of you may already understand. But even for you geniuses out there, I think you'll learn something. You know a lot about system optimization, but what you may not know is how certain technologies react specifically. Okay, in the case of the Surefire stuff, it's not as forgiving as some others. And guess what? It runs the gamut. This really does run the gamut. You have very simple things like Otter Creek Labs. Their designs for rifle silencers, at least, they somewhat scale. Performance can drop, and we can predict that relatively well. Then you have extremely complicated supercomputer-driven designs from folks like CAT, for example, that can also somewhat scale. Good luck predicting it. Yet, the old standby stuff, like the Surefire tech, scales relatively poorly. And it's not by happenstance that we know it. This isn't like some kind of like, oh, we just stumbled upon this. No, it's not some kind of fluke. Okay, guys, we've tested Surefire rifle silencers extensively in all cartridge regimes, and what's happening is a distinct lack of late time flow control. Okay, and we're not going to get technical today. That's not the purpose of today's talk. But you saw this in the RC3 analysis. Okay, you really did. And suffice to say, there are some very interesting parallels that you're going to be able to draw here with the 7.62 MINI2 to the RC3. Okay, they're different generations of silencers, they're different calibers, but they're both highlighting something about the Surefire technology that's interesting. Okay, they really show you just how erratic and uncontrolled performance can be when it's not dialed in. The 7.62 MINI2, I'm telling you, we handicapped it. We put it on a 5.56 gun. The 5.56 RC3, it handicapped itself, but that's a technical issue we'll talk about next time in the full discussion. Okay, I'm just trying to help you understand full big picture context here. And the last thing I'll say about the 7.62 MINI2 at a high level in this introduction is that there is a performance metric here that does somewhat substantiate some claims you may have heard. For the shooter, that's right, for the shooter and just the shooter in the free field on a Mark 18, the 7.62 MINI2 is not terribly off of the 5.56 RC2. That's correct. That's true. But, huge caveat, but in late time, and if you are anywhere near a reflecting surface, man, it's going to bite you. And the overbore is robbing Peter to pay Paul in a huge way here. You notice it. Guys, I don't know if you're like, some of you are scarred for life already, but you'll notice I haven't even mentioned the war comp mount. And guess what? We're not even presenting a work comp test with this silencer. There's literally no need to do it. When you members see the shooter's ear waveforms, I want you to go look at that blast momentum. I want you to look at that impulse, and you tell me what you see in early time. You guys are going to get some of the most blatant textbook examples of unoptimized performance degradation ever published, I think, in the pedigree. So this was a necessary evil. We are not picking on Surefire, okay? We are simply using the silencer as an example that has been suggested by internet experts on forums and people at gun counters for a decade. So how does your 30 caliber rifle silencer that looks like an RC2 actually perform? Is it bad? And why is it bad? Does this open other windows into other silencer manufacturer models and performance claims? Does it mirror any issues others have? Does this always happen? Or does it always have to happen? All these are very good questions. Okay, I hope this article helps you further understand the big picture. I hope it gets you yourself to start asking questions. You probably need to start asking questions about performance claims that people are throwing around. Without hard data and analysis, you'll be surprised at some of the claims people are making. And this isn't new. It's half the reason this whole effort exists and even got started. Okay? So go check it out. It's cool. I'm still writing it, so it'll be ready for you in the morning, I promise. But in the meantime, so yeah, I'm talking to you as present, past Jay. When you hear this, you'll be in the future. So future Jay will be sure to upload the complete article to the website, and you shall see it in the morning on Wednesday, the 31st. In the meantime, let's talk about AR gas systems, shall we? In this topic 2 at a time of 26 minutes and 43 seconds. Oh my gosh. 43 seconds on both topics. That's got to be some kind of omen. One moment. Topic 2, a short, very short topic. Are adjustable gas blocks bad? I mean, not really. Can they be bad? Sure. They totally could be. I'm really looking for a compact, non-leaky block with fine adjustments. When I say compact, I mean like, short. They can fit on like super short dual time barrels, like an 11.5-inch mid, or like a 14.5-inch rifle gas length. It's crazy, right? He's weird. This is more of a gripe or frustration because I haven't had time to really dig into it. Seriously, I haven't had time to dig into this enough, as much as I would like. PEW Science kind of became a crazy animal, and it's kind of taking a lot of time. So I'm really torn when it comes to adjustable gas systems and how much I care about their tightness. I'm speaking freely because I want you to know my thoughts, and I want to get your feedback too. And please, put in the YouTube comments and the Instagram comments or whatever, and we'll talk about it. I mean, on the one hand, a lot of us are scar junkies, right? And we're gonna vent out of that piston block. So who cares, right? You're dialing in your gas impulse with set screws or fancy regulators or whatever. You're gonna vent out of that block. So who cares? High efficiency, high reliability, loud life is good. Scar life is good. That's generally correct. Like, scar people look down upon you lowly AR people. Like, it's like that meme with the smug like aristocrat looking down at his nose at others. That's how scar people are. Sorry. I'm just kidding, kind of. Now, on the other hand, there exist animals like the Knight's Armament Mod 2 gas system, right? Straight gas tube, compression fittings, nice dwell time. It makes you sing when you shoot it, man. When you shoot the dang thing, you just, with the proper port size, it's just so nice. It's so clean. It's so dialed in and tight, thick, solid, tight. If I had my way, I would have that type of system with some kind of adjustability. Wouldn't that be cool though? Just like have a little dial on a Knight's gas system. With regard to engineering such a thing, I mean, wouldn't you want to maintain that tightness? If you're going to use compression fittings and you're going to have such great part like interfaces, you probably want a good switch mechanism that seals. And this is where the lack of time comes in. I'm just not sure if there's such an animal, simply because I haven't had the time to look into it. I just haven't. And one thing that complicates this, and I mentioned this a little bit a second ago, is wanting to put the gas port on the barrel pretty far forward, like really close to the muzzle, for some experiments we're doing right now. We have a 14.5-inch rifle gas barrel, which on the way, which could be very interesting. Actually, you know what? I think that I'm looking at the barrel came in today. It was actually, that was one of the packages. I haven't opened it, but I see a barrel-shaped box next to my desk, and I believe that is the rifle gas barrel. So yeah, we have a 14.5-inch rifle length gas system barrel. A lot of folks have seen us use the 11.5-inch mid-length gas barrel for many years. We were using those are from Faxon. We had been using those Faxon barrels before most large gun companies would pay that type of system any mind. We really enjoy that short dwell time, and Noveski ended up looking to us and start using it. The silencer user preference has spread. People are figuring out it's really cool. Some companies are even, they're talking about making them too, and it's I think, look, that trend, the push into the enthusiast realm, which trickled down into the I think the larger consumer space, I think that started here at PEW Science. We didn't invent the barrel, obviously, but we were the ones pushing it for silencer use and showing that it was a viable option. And I think a lot of people are seeing that short dwell time can have a lot of benefits. You don't need, it's not a 100% necessity, but it can have a lot of benefits. And because, there's so many different silencers out there. And we've talked about this technically before. I'm not going to push deep into that technically today. I told you I'm going to let your brain relax, remember? So the commonality here is the short system, whether it be that Faxon type barrel, the 14.5-inch rifle gas. You can't have an adjustment knob that goes too far forward, or you're going to interfere with your muzzle device, you're going to interfere with your silencer. So this is kind of an open request to all of you listening. If you know of some cool, tight, reasonably sized adjustable gas blocks that are available, hit me up. Yes, people have been telling me about the rifle speed. I get it. It's too long. It's too long. It's too big. I know you think it's cool. It probably is. I don't care. It's too big. Okay. So please give me some experience. And if you want to share your experience with that system, do it. I'm not saying I'm not going to use it. I think there's probably a bunch of different adjustable gas blocks out there. And hey, if you want to tell me all about your rifle speed block, go ahead. Okay, I'm not going to stop you. I would love to learn your experience. First-hand experience is great. I love hearing it from you guys. I love learning how you've engineered and tuned your own suppressed weapon systems. I think that's part of the thrust about all this, teaching you how the physics works so you can go forth and play. I think that's exceptional. I feel like we could actually do a pretty good test program with this type of topic eventually if we really wanted to. For now, I really kind of just want to see what's out there, because I have a feeling I'm missing something because I haven't been able to dedicate the time to it. And so I'm kind of asking you to help. See, this can go both ways, right? I feel like I've helped you guys a lot. Maybe you can help me. Okay. So just let me know what's out there. Please enjoy this week's data and analysis. It is going to be interesting to see what some people think of this after it's been pounded into their head that it doesn't matter what you put on your 5.56 AR. Spoiler alert, it does matter. Weird. Now, last thing I'll say, if you see Capital Armory, go tell them mad props for supporting the podcast, which directly supports the lab. It's a really big deal. Silencer Shop, Top Gun Range, Capital Armory, all together uniting to support the largest silencer research effort on the planet. Did you ever think you would see all those three together? You're seeing it now. And I'm just telling you, if that doesn't say something, I don't know what does. Okay? So stay safe out there, friends. Please go check out the article and share it with your friends and family. I will talk with you folks again soon. All right, bye.